The girl was born of a mother like the others in other ways too, black-haired and small and hungry. Against them she grew, world of others and others and others. Then she loved an other. Then she was a mother. When the new girl came, the mother was seized by hunger, not to eat, but to fill, for her body was empty. To fill the empty was not a need, it was a command. The mother lifted the girl by the toes and held her in the air. She opened her throat and took the girl down. Mothers and Girls, a Fake Memoir. I met my parents when I was 5 years old. I saw my father first, his long shadow approaching the half-open door. I recognized him at once. He was tall and wide, but very thin, flat like a long scroll of paper. I cried out, "Baba." I was hiding behind Nai's knees. My father bent to look at me, jagged and graceful. He took my hand and squeezed its fingers. He said in English, "Hello, little girl." My first English words. I don't know how I understood them, but I did. After this, my memory breaks. The walls dissolve. The ceiling bulb dims. Baba and Nai retreat. I am there alone, facing the lit rectangle of the door, while a strange creature walks through it, stooping slightly, stopping just feet from where I stand. She is tall, like my father. She has yellow hair, the color of a lion's mane, and her skin is very white, so white it seems to be lit from within. Her eyes are drained of color, 2 balls of glass, her lips thin and very red. At any moment they might open and swallow me whole. I loved my mother instantly. I could not look away from her. Nai had told me of fox spirits who wore the bodies of beautiful women in order to lure their prey. I thought she must be one. I thought this and loved her still. To be loved by her in return, to be devoured by her, I imagined, would be a thrill. Hello, I'm Meng Jin, and my creative capital project is Mothers and Girls, a Fake Memoir. Narrated by a writer named Meng, the mixed-race daughter of a Han Chinese poet and a white American translator, Mothers and Girls provokes an autofictional reading, but is totally non-autobiographical. It is what I call instead a fake memoir, a not-so-fake literary category I employ to evoke the conflation of fiction and memoir in the history of Chinese American literature. The first part of Mothers and Girls builds a stylized myth of real Chinese suffering that edges on horror. The second part dismantles that same myth, offering a vision of suffering that is interminable, exhausting, and anticlimactic, a vision of suffering, in other words, that doesn't fit neatly into narrative. Building and dismantling myths are 2 distinctly American pleasures. In this book, I want to eat my American cake and have it too. I came to this structure as a way to ask, what does it say about humans that we are so easily and so happily seduced by narrative? I want readers to come away from this book unsettled and not knowing what to think about the story, about the storyteller, and also about themselves as consumers of story. I want them to come away deeply suspicious of storytelling. I'm still researching and developing the work, and I seek time and space to do so. I also seek collaborators and advisors for the extra textual elements of this project. One of these elements is what I'm calling a performance of authorship, including a performance of racialized identity, inspired by the work of artists like Adrian Piper, which I would conduct in place of a traditional book publicity campaign. This part is still very much in the embryonic phase, and I would love to connect with Asian American performance and digital artists, photographers, and video artists who might be interested in collaborating with me to develop this performance, and any publicists and media strategists with ideas of how to run a really weird publicity campaign. Thank you.